Hello, hello. Welcome to Baki Taki Season 2, Episode 3, Revived. Wow, we've made it all this way, and this episode has honestly just non-stop wall-to-wall hits. So we should probably jump into it pretty quickly. And you can already hear them, even before they're introduced. My guest for this episode, returning guest, Sumeeta.
Ooh, happy to be back. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, I knew I was going to bring you back for this episode specifically.
Yeah, you said that, and then there's some things that happen here, and I go, why would you want to subject me to that, Steve? But do go on.
I have my reasons. So this episode is honestly, I broke it down into parts, and every part is fun. But let's just start at the beginning. So I don't know if you caught this, but Baki has been poisoned for probably the last 7 episodes. And so this episode, it starts off with him sitting in a hallway, and there is a beautiful feast that's been prepared for him. And yeah, do you want to just walk us through what happens here?
Can I ask some questions, though? Because I was a little confused. Because first I was like, okay, this is Baki. But then they weren't calling him Baki, and he was someone? Someone?
Oh, yeah, that's a different guy. Kaio Samwan.
Kaio Samwan, adept of Thailand Muay Thai.
Oh, those are two different guys?
Yeah, they're totally two different guys.
Wait, hang on. Wait, but... Okay, so I thought it was Baki, and then they showed this guy, the guy who gets no spoilers, but the guy who fights the old guy.
Yeah.
But that's not Baki. Who did that?
Correct. That's Kaio Samwan.
But someone. Okay. So then I was like, oh, this is a different guy. They're not showing Baki in this episode. This is a different arc or whatever. But then okay, well.
So
we'll just
for continuity, Baki's in the hallway, and then we cut to a fight with two different people, and then we cut back to Baki.
Okay, I'll let you know where my confusion comes in, but okay, good to know. So this is Baki.
Yeah.
They do give some context here. A voice explains that he has been poisoned and he's been really beat up, and there's I haven't really been following a lot on the episodes here. So have previous episodes also included these shots of his organs and tissues from the inside?
No. Well, in the episode that he had sex, there were a lot of shots of his muscular system, but we haven't got a lot of inside Baki shots.
Okay, so, yeah, that one I do remember. So they're showing his liver and his other tissues.
Yep.
To show that he's poisoned. Who's Retsu? Are they?
Yeah,
not together. They're not.
No, they're not together. No, he's with Kozue. But although Retsu does blush when Baki says thanks for making all the food.
Oh, why? That's what I'm interested to know.
Wow.
Eat up.
Retsu, you're a darn good guy, you know that?
Just eat.
Retsu is, I think, just very humble. So Retsu is a Chinese Kempo master who, when Baki was poisoned, he sort of kidnapped him and flew him to China to heal him. And the way he was healed was honestly an entire episode's worth discussion that we don't have to go into. But Retsu's master plan worked. And so the final step is this meal that he made for him.
Okay, so he's eating all of this food, and then Retsu says, you have to drink 10 liters of water because you're severely dehydrated.
So full.
You're not done yet. Time for dessert.
You kidding? I can't eat anymore. It's just...
Water. 10 full liters.
But I think that's a really bad idea.
Oh my god, yeah.
But then... you can die from that, I think.
Well, I agree, but I think we're on the same train of thought that the next thing is much more likely to kill you.
Oh yeah, 14 kilograms of fructose, that's a lot. But also, I just feel like it doesn't really make that much sense, because what if I just wanted to drink, If today I just wanted to drink like 200 liters of water and then I don't want to drink water for a year, it's gonna kill me. It's not gonna last me that long. But anyway, so then
Well,
he
you didn't
says,
stir in any
I'm going
fructose, so yeah, you're probably just gonna die.
okay, well then the fructose, he makes it sound like the hard part of drinking 10 liters of water is that it doesn't taste good. He doesn't really explain. He's making it like, I'm gonna add all this sweetener.
We'll mix this in. Fructose, a sweetener made from fruit. 4 kilograms of it. That may sound like a lot, but...
To make it a little easier to go down the throat. So I didn't think that was the problem, but apparently that was the problem.
But
because
it's to revitalize his body's glycogen or whatever the fuck.
His glycogen, yeah, but
His supply of glycogen, a human's last resort for cellular energy, had completely run out.
Yeah,
okay.
so
And then he drinks his water.
his 14 kilos of sugar water. Yeah.
Water.
One detail that I just wanted to point out. Did you enjoy when he started stirring it with his hand and then Baki just said gross?
As it stands, you're not entirely whole yet.
Yeah, that's kind of gross.
I did, and I wish that he would elaborate. Because you can't just go and make a man blush and then 2 seconds later say he's gross.
Yeah. Get your gross hand away from my food. That would honestly be so rude. Like, this guy just made an entire, 19-course meal and then made you 14 kilograms of sugar water for you to drink. And then you're just going to be like, ew, don't put your hand on my food.
Gross. Ew, wash your hands first. Ew,
Maybe that was him washing his hands.
Maybe. Well, you know what? That much sugar water probably would, dissolve your hand. So, it's fine.
Wow. You got to watch out for that. So basically, the narrator goes on to explain that basically Baki's body has now evolved beyond the point where poison can affect him.
And now, in a sense, those cells are seeking revenge, preparing against whatever they'll face next. From here on out, if something equally damaging were to happen again,
No way.
each cell will know how to overcome it.
His muscles have just they've been burnt once and they'll never be burnt again, and they just they've transcended the realm of mortal muscle.
That's how bodies work.
Oh, well, if you want to talk about how bodies work, the best part of this scene is how it's when we cut back to them and it's two guys walking in the hallway and it's just like, is it damp in here? So Baki is lying on the ground comatose, which is what I would do if I drank 14 kilograms of sugar water.
Wait, no, this happens after. This happens after Steve, and that's why I got confused.
Yes. But
because then we go to the fight. But
all right, we won't jump ahead.
Before we get to the fight. But imagine if bodies did operate on that kind of logic. Doctors would just be beating up patients in hospitals because they can't possibly ever be hurt again.
Yeah. Does that not happen when you get your physical?
Well, I guess my doctor just is shit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Maybe your doctor.
In the fight.
Yeah. I always pick a doctor who's bigger than me and who has lots of sugar water on hand, so I can just recover afterwards. So this next fight is the reason I brought you on this week. I guess just very quickly, we get a little tiny scene of Kaku. What is it? Kaio Emperor Kaku.
Kaku.
Yes, Kaio Kaku. With a name like Kaku, you got to go on to become a Kaio. Talking to Yujiro with my favorite line of the episode probably is just him going,
"My poor boy, you're weak."
and for reference, Kaku is I've described a few people as tiny old grandpas, but this is the smallest and oldest grandpa in the show. Literally, I think he's in a wheelchair when he says that line, and he's talking to Yujiro
in the world,
Hanma.
possibly.
Oh yeah, I would be surprised because he is 146, 147 years old.
Yeah, he's 25 plus 121.
All right.
Whatever that is.
Doing the math. Yep. And 162. Yeah. He's pretty old.
Wow.
So he sort of shit talks Yujiro and then goes to fight Kaio Samwon. So Kaio Samwon is, like all of the lesser Kaios, representing a unique aspect of martial arts. What makes Kaio Samwon interesting is that he is not a Chinese martial arts practitioner, but he is actually in the school of Muay Thai. So, Sumeeta, as you are also a Muay Thai expert, I wanted to bring you on this episode because I thought it'd be fun. You can get to sort of like cheer on somebody. What did you think of Kaio Samwon?
What I think of Kaio Samwon is, so he's not Baki. This is a different guy.
Yep, this is not Baki.
Okay, and this is the first time we're learning of him in this fight?
100%. We've seen his face once in a shot where they went, Kaio Samwon. That's it, though.
Okay. What I think of him, I think he's cool. I think he's overcome a lot in his life. And he's come really far. And I think that he should absolutely be recognized for his power and his technique.
His speed.
And his speed. He wasn't quick enough, as we'll learn. But yeah, I like his stance. I like his Muay Thai kick that he does. That I am extremely expert in. I like that he keeps his hands by his face, like a true Muay Thai practitioner should.
Yeah. Although he probably could have kept his hands somewhere else. Might have helped a bit more.
Yeah, he should probably wear a belt. But so I think he's cool, and he's not Baki.
Yes, I agree on both parts. What I love about Kaio Samwon is that we get a backstory to him, and we really didn't need it. But we learned that a Chinese guy went to Thailand, met Samwon as a child, who reminded him of a snake, and then they both moved to Hong Kong, and he became a Kaio there. Kaio Samwon believes that a lot of martial arts is deception, and that it's really all about being faster than your opponent. The fight is I would describe pretty straightforward. Kaio Samwon does his Muay Thai kick, and he actually misses, and then Kaku pulls down his shorts, leaving him naked in the Grand Rai Thai stage, and then he flicks him in the balls, instantly incapacitating him. Is that like a known weakness for Muay Thai? Like, do they prepare you for that?
Absolutely not. I don't know why this old man is pantsing people. I've never heard of this in my life.
So they don't prepare you. So it's honestly makes a bit of sense why he would fall for this.
You're right. Honestly, they should teach us that so that we know what to expect from our opponents. Why is it allowed though? Why do they let him do that?
Wow, it's martial arts. I believe martial arts is a difficult thing to describe, but like if I had to like paint a picture of it, it would be that. I think it's the weak protecting themselves against the strong, using technique rather than strength, using real martial arts instead of Muay Thai, like all that stuff.
Okay, well, if I was my grandpa, I'd be pretty embarrassed to be his grandchild.
You'd be embarrassed You'd be embarrassed of your 150-year-old grandparent, the Emperor Kaio, for flicking somebody in the balls, winning a fight in one move.
Yeah, I would say, Grandpa, stop pulling people's pants down.
All right.
Go sit in your wheelchair.
So, I'm just gonna give some context, just to get back up my boy, Emperor Kaku. The other fights that have happened so far in this tournament, have also ended in a bit of a one-sided route. Like in the last episode, Muhammad Ali Jr. punched a guy in the balls and ended the fight in one punch. And in the initial fight of the tournament, Yujiro ripped a guy's face off in one move. So it's
wow.
Yeah. Did they die? No. Getting your face ripped off doesn't kill you in Baki. It just sort of makes you mad mostly. Anywho. So Kaio Samwon loses, unfortunately. And we know what you think about that, and we know that you would be disappointed to be the grandchild of Emperor Gaku. So let's go back to the hallway. It's damp. What's going on?
I thought it cuts to Kaio Kaku, and there's a bunch of reporters around him. Or no, am I confused?
No, you're right. Did you have... Wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just had something really important to say about it.
Of course,
that's why I don't want to skip it.
No worries.
I just feel like the scene starts, it's absolute silence. He's surrounded by all these reporters. Nobody's talking for like 5 seconds. And then he goes, "What? Bricks? You want me to break some of them in front of you?" But nobody asked for that. So he's just going around saying, "What? Bricks?"
We have a winner!
What, bricks? You want me to break some of them in front of you?
He just says that to everything. He just offers to break things, but nobody asked.
I noticed that, and it didn't look like there were any bricks nearby, unless he meant like the walls of the building they were in.
There weren't any bricks. He just wanted an excuse to flick some poor reporter's head.
Thank God he flicked him in the
Because that's
head.
the same thing.
Yeah. My favorite thing was I forgot after that Samwon comes out and he's pretty mad. He looks like he is still in a lot of pain from that flick to the balls. Like, he is hunched over. He's still in his tiny shorts. We get a weird flashback of him remembering getting flicked. Just in case.
Like, we just saw it. We don't need to see that.
It's one of those like context clues. It's like he's walking around holding his balls and we just saw him get flicked.
We can tell.
Yeah.
We can tell Grandpa flicked him in the ball.
Yeah.
But Steve, this is where my confusion came in, okay?
Okay.
Because we see him, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then immediately, I guess, was it Yujiro?
Yep.
Comes in and is like,
After today, do you really think you can show your face in the city of Hong Kong?
like, I guess punches him.
Yep.
And then you see a guy lying comatose, and I thought that was him. But actually, so then I thought, oh, this must be a guy who was briefly, like, I thought they were maybe one person, and he was briefly like possessed by like another fighter.
He was
to
pretending to
back.
be Kaio Samwon.
He was pretending, or yeah. So anyway, so now I know that they're two different people, and
I understand now. It was weird that Baki was like just sitting there eating soup, and then he went comatose by the next time we see him.
Yeah.
We also missed Yujiro's like very mean dialogue to Samwon when they ran into each other in the hallway. I think he said like, "If you were Japanese, you would have committed harikari. How do you live with yourself?"
Oh yeah.
I love having Yujiro in this season. Okay. Now the time we're all waiting for.
Wait, what is harikari? Is that suicide?
It's when, you know, like the samurai thing where you just impale yourself with a sword.
Oh, that's a rough thing to tell somebody, but I'm gonna tell everybody that from now on.
You're gonna tell them, if you were Japanese, you would have. Okay, good. On the topic of
comatose.
Yeah, back. So Baki's comatose in the hallway, and it's pretty damp. What's going on?
Hey, is it just me, or does it feel damp in here?
He's sizzling. He's a sizzling boy. He's steaming up. It's the fructose. At 14 kilograms of fructose is, I guess, really hot. I don't know. It's coming off of him like steam. It's a sauna. The diabetes.
That's what happens when you get diabetes. You just start steaming. Yeah, so Baki starts steaming. He no longer, finally, sickly Baki is gone. The gray, emaciated, gross-looking dude. He's back to the normal skin tone, sort of still gross just because of how muscular he is, looking dude. It's one of my... Definitely, honestly, I keep saying this because this was a great episode, but one of my favorite things in this episode is when Baki awakens. First of all, he jumps up to grab one of Kozue's tears and swallow it for no real reason. And then we get a sweet like guitar track playing, and Retsu just says about 8 variations of Baki's back. Baki Hanma's back. Baki's back.
He's back! Baki Hanma is back! Yes, Baki's back! Baki Hanma's back! He's really back! Baki Hanma's back! He's actually back!
And now,
He's back!
I want to go and fight.
My favorite thing.
Do you want to know why? It's because originally that was written for like 2 characters to say, but they can't possibly give the woman any lines to speak at all, so they have to give them all to him.
I actually really like that explanation. Like, it was written
Like
with
she doesn't say a
Kozue.
word.
Yeah, Retsu's voice actor was like, "Hey, let's try something different this take." You know what's also funny? I watched this episode with subtitles on as well, which I don't typically do, and I realized that in the subs he's actually saying he's been revived. Baki's been revived, which is why the episode is called.
Yeah,
Revived.
that would make sense.
Yeah. But yeah.
That's also why Selena Gomez had the album Revival.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
She
a
was-
big Baki fan.
More than just survival. This is my revival.
He's back!
This is a
Baki
revival.
Hanma is back! Yes, Baki's back! Baki Hanma's back!
Oh my god, that would be game changing. If Selena Gomez just posted on like her Instagram, like everybody watch Baki, like you couldn't buy that. That would just change so much. So Selena, if you are listening, make sure to first of all tag the podcast.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe. Like, subscribe, take a screenshot to prove it, and then post it on Instagram. Oh man. So that takes us to sort of the last act of this story with our good friend Kaio Dorian. So I think your episode was after the Dorian arc had concluded, right? Have you ever met this guy before?
I haven't heard of a Dorian in my life, but I have heard of a Biscuit Oliver, and he's there.
Yes. Okay. So, well, I'll let you explain. Like, let's walk through the first fight that happens, because this is probably, without context, one of the most confusing fights I can think of.
There's a guy. I'll be honest. I don't really know what happened. There's a guy, and then there's this other guy. I guess he's Dorian, or is Dorian the older guy?
Dorian's the
guy that Biscuit Oliver
big
is
old
helping.
Yeah, Dorian is the guy that Biscuit Oliver is helping, and the other dude is
Okay.
Kaio Yo.
Kaio Yo. Okay, so Kaio Yo, I guess, like one punches Dorian, and he just falls. That's pretty much all that happens in the fight, right? then
If you
do I know
subtract
anything?
about 95 punches, yeah.
Okay.
He also spits out his candy during the fight.
Yeah, okay. I must have been a little bit distracted while I was watching this scene. I must have looked away or something. But he punches him. Next thing you know, he hit the flow. And
He got low.
he got low, really low, and he's bleeding. And then I guess he spits out his candy. And so, because, okay, what I remember is Biscuit Oliver has candy. So I guess he spit out his candy, and then you're telling me Biscuit Oliver put it in his own mouth and then put it back in Dorian's mouth?
Yes, it was that odd, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. Biscuit Oliver, from what I could tell, put it in his mouth to clean the dirt off it.
Oh.
He's a showman, you know? Yeah, so Dorian was having his candy, which then was got very dirty on the ground. Biscuit Oliver, being a gentleman, picked it up, swished all of the dirt off, and then gave it back to gave it back to Dorian. So I'll just give you some context on Dorian. Like, well, who do you think Dorian is? Like,
I don't know how to answer this question. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's a fighter that Biscuit Oliver found on the street, and he's being forced to fight for Biscuit Oliver.
Yeah, not too far off. So Biscuit Oliver, as we know, flew to Japan to arrest the death row inmates. Dorian was the second death row inmate that was defeated, actually before Biscuit Oliver made it to Japan. Dorian was a lot of fun. He could hypnotize people while fighting them. That was sort of his thing. Actually, he had a few things. But what happened is at the end, so I don't know if you caught this, but all of the criminals, they flew to Japan to taste defeat. And what made Dorian interesting is Retsu said, "You've been trying to be defeated your whole life, and you've always failed at being defeated, which means that even though you won every time, you actually lost every time. So you've never won before."
Wow.
And that
gymnastics.
That broke his mind so hard that he regressed to the mind of a child who just wants to eat candy. So that's why he was in a bit of an odd state.
Is that real explanation that you just gave me?
100%. That's canon. That's real.
Oh.
Yeah.
Feel bad for him.
Yeah. Well, he was a bit of a bad guy, you know.
The death row and.
Yeah. I always forget that.
Okay.
Killed like 12 dudes in the first shot.
Yeah. Okay. I don't feel so bad for him.
Yeah. Anyway, so the one other random thing about Dorian is that he has a Kaio, and so they pulled him into this tournament. Now Dorian, and also to a lesser degree, Kaio Samwon, both have a bit of a prejudice from the Chinese Kaios, who are not a fan of foreigners having the name Kaio.
I'm dissatisfied. He's not Chinese. He has no right to call himself a Kaio.
So we get a nice little scene where Kaio Yo, after, as you said, just obliterating Dorian, refuses to believe that was a real fight and demands a rematch. Oliver, it seems this was his scheme all along, says, "I'll fight you instead." And then has one of a really cool feat of strength where he grabs the other guy's wrist so hard that he can't unclench his fist.
I can't open my fist.
Were you impressed by that?
Not particularly.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah. Anyone can do that. You know. So, okay.
It's no drinking 10 liters of water, but it's.
That's impressive.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. I see. Strong grip, not that impressive. But you know what is pretty impressive? Congo Ken. Which, whenever I hear that, I always assume that it's like a new Barbie doll, where Ken goes to the Congo. But it's actually a martial arts style. And I wanted to ask Sumeeta, why, you chose to just pick up Muay Thai. Why did you consider Congo Ken? If you had known about it, would you have wanted to go through the training?
I don't think so.
Do you want a refresher on the steps? It would be first. Let's say that I'm helping you on this. So I would first hit you with a wooden sword. Then I would start hitting you with a chain. Then I would drive a truck over you. Then we fire a cannonball into you. And then in what I think
into me?
Yeah. At you.
Okay.
And then in what I found to be a real anticlimax, the last one is you have to stand under a waterfall during a typhoon for the night.
Final stage of our training is to spend an entire night sitting beneath the crushing weight of a 30-meter tall waterfall, all while a fierce typhoon rages around us.
Which I don't see as a step up from the cannonball. But I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool for a martial art. It seemed pretty straightforward. And apparently it makes your skin like a diamond.
You see, Kongo Ken turns one's flesh into a substance that's as hard as a diamond.
Doesn't sound very fun. You
No,
know what my favorite Kaio Kaku says?
What?
Says women aren't blessed with natural strength. And also baby people. And that they're the ones who need martial arts the most. And
Yep.
so if I gotta choose a martial arts, since I don't have natural strength, and I'm gonna choose the one that is probably most accessible, most entry level.
Yep.
I don't have spare typhoons.
That is fair. And I don't think you can actually legally have a typhoon in this hemisphere. Yeah, that was a really fun quote Kaku had. I'm glad you brought it up. It's such a great line that, like, you know, martial arts are for elderly children and women, and then in a show that's in a manga that's been going on for probably over 20 years that has never had a woman who knows martial arts. It's like it's for the weak.
Me.
Yeah.
On in the next episode.
Oh man.
But
Can't
yeah,
wait.
that
Kyle
reason.
Sumeeta.
I opt out of the Kongo Ken training.
Yeah.
methods.
No, that's fair. And to be honest, if you're just judging it based on like results, so the fight starts off. The Kongo Ken dude, Kaio Yo, describes that he's done all this stuff. He's invulnerable. Takes off his shirt and just says, "Oliver, you get a free hit on me." And so Biscuit Oliver walks over to him, says,
You're an idiot. You know that?
and as far as I can tell, compresses the man's spine like a slinky by pressing down on his head, folding him in half.
And diamonds don't do that.
That's what the episode ends with Yujiro, who's been watching from the sidelines, saying,
Oh man, this is just too funny. I mean, what kind of diamond bends like that?
ah, ah,
So funny and witty.
yeah. This whole arc is just fun because you get a lot of people in the same place and people can watch the fights. You know, it's like
Yeah.
my other.
But only men can watch the fights because there's no women in the world except for the women who don't speak.
There
There's only one
are
of them.
there are women who don't speak in the audience as well in some of the crowd shots.
I didn't see any.
Maybe not in this
see any.
episode. In the Japanese
they were doing
tournaments,
that
there's
cheering?
women.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Women are allowed to appreciate martial arts.
Well, they have to. They're required to, Steve. We already learned that.
True. All right. Well,
Otherwise,
that's
they get flicked in the.
in what? What were you gonna say? Actually, no. Don't finish that. This is a family podcast. All right. Well, that was a fun episode. I really couldn't pick a favorite moment. What scene do you think is gonna stay with you the longest from this episode?
Oh. The pantsing
Yeah.
is because it's just so bizarre. Wow, a lot of them actually. The pantsing, the revival,
Baki's back.
yeah, that can never leave my head because repetition tends to stick in my brain really well, and that's all they said for 20 seconds. And the candy scene. So gross.
Yep. Well, I'm glad this is such a memorable episode. So I guess my final question has to be, do you think that the show has gotten better Do you think that the show is getting better since the last episode you've watched, or it's regressed?
I think. Okay, let me remember from that first. I truly believe that this is a step up. I think this was a fun episode. I think it's gotten better.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think this show it's on the up and up. It's a great show.
Yeah. Up and coming. It's there. It's getting there.
Yeah. And it's still got another season to go, and hopefully the next season will be out soon, where they start fighting a caveman. Anyway.
It's not even out yet?
No, I've seen people guess that it's going to come out later or like mid-2023. So, we'll see. Also, I saw that they might be making a Japanese live-action movie for Baki. So, I'm keeping an eye on that.
Well, I gotta put that on the podcast.
Oh, I will. But I don't have high hopes, you know. I do, Netflix does do great anime to live action adaptations, but I don't know if they'll be able to pull this one off. Anyway, thank you so much for coming on the show again, Sumeeta. It was great talking with you.
My pleasure.
Yep.
Of course. Anytime.
Yeah. But that's all the Baki we've got to talkie, so make sure you subscribe, and see y'all next week.
Bye, everyone.
Na, na, na.